The imperial court of Zephyra Prime fell silent as Rian Corval stepped through the crystalline archway, dragging something massive behind him on a reinforced chain. The human foreman's work boots echoed against marble floors that had never known such crude footwear. His orange safety vest clashed spectacularly with the flowing silks and bioluminescent robes of the assembled nobility. Empress Varl sat motionless on her throne of living metal, her 4 eyes narrowing as she observed the disruption. Her scales shimmered between violet and crimson, a sign of intense curiosity mixed with irritation. No one simply walked into her presence. No one brought that smell. The odor hit the court like a physical wave. Courtiers gagged. 3 ornamental guards fainted. The Imperial Chancellor's breathing apparatus actually cracked. "Your Imperial Majesty," Rian said, his translator chip rendering his words in High Zephyron. He didn't bow. Humans rarely did, something that had caused diplomatic incidents across 17 systems. "I found this on sublevel 74 during the station expansion." What emerged from behind him defied immediate classification. It was roughly wolf-shaped. If wolves had been crossbred with nightmares and left to ferment in a forgotten corner of the universe. Its fur, if the matted, crud-encrusted covering could be called fur, was a color that didn't exist in nature or any sane artist's palette. The creature's eyes glowed with an amber luminescence that suggested intelligence, hunger, and something approaching indignation. It was also approximately the size of a small shuttle. "That," Empress Varl said slowly, rising from her throne, "is a Krell apex predator." "Yeah, I figured it was something important," Rian replied, wiping engine grease from his hands onto his already filthy pants. "Found it, locked in one of the old Imperial vaults." The access panel said, "Emergency Royal Protocol Omega-7. Figured you'd want to see it." The Empress descended the steps, her royal guard tensing. She waved them back with one clawed hand. "Foreman Corval. That creature has been sealed away for 3,000 years. It was the personal guardian of Empress Thilla the Conqueror, locked away when she fell in the Crimson Wars. It is considered one of the most dangerous organisms in the known galaxy." "Huh." Rian looked at the creature, which looked back at him with something approaching friendship. "It's pretty friendly once you give it some protein bars and scratch behind its ears. Well, ear analogs. It's got like 6 of them." A collective intake of breath swept through the court. The Empress's scales flickered through colors. No one had seen her display before. Shock, wonder, and something that might have been amusement. "You touched it?" she asked. "Well, yeah. How else was I supposed to get it up 74 levels? The cargo lifts are still offline from the meteor strike last month. Had to take the maintenance shafts." He paused. "Also, I gave it a bath." Silence. Complete absolute silence. "You bathed a Krell apex predator?" The Empress's voice was barely a whisper. "Tried to. Used the industrial decontamination system on level 40. Thing fought me the whole time. Eventually we compromised. I got most of the worst stuff off, and it agreed not to eat me. That's when everything went still." "What do you mean still?" Rian shrugged. "Hard to explain. The water was running. Then it just stopped. Not froze. Stopped. Hanging in the air. The creature looked at me, and I swear I heard a voice in my head saying, 'Worthy.' Then everything started moving again, and it's been following me around like a lost puppy ever since." The Empress stared at him, then at the creature. "The Krell bonded with you," she said flatly. "Is that bad?" "The Krell apex predator bonds only with those it deems worthy of absolute loyalty. In 3,000 years of Imperial history, only 7 individuals have ever achieved this bond. Each became a legendary figure whose deeds shaped civilizations." She paused. "They were all Zephyron royalty." "Well, I'm just a foreman from New Detroit," Rian said. "But I figured you'd want your family's pet back. So, here you go." He held out the chain. The creature didn't move. It sat beside Rian, its massive head level with his chest, and yawned, revealing teeth that could bite through starship hull plating. Empress Viril began to laugh. It started as a quiet ripple, then built into something that rang through the entire throne room. Her scales flashed gold, pure, unrestrained joy. "Foreman Corval," she said when she could speak again. "Do you understand what you've done? Returned Imperial property? You've bathed a legend, fed it protein bars, made it follow you through maintenance shafts, and somehow, impossibly, earned its loyalty." She descended the remaining steps until she stood before him, close enough that he could see the ancient wisdom in all four of her eyes. By the oldest laws of Zephyra, the bonding of a Krell apex predator to an individual grants that person honorary imperial status. It cannot be undone or refused. Rian blinked. "I have a shift starting in 20 minutes. You had a shift. Now you're a prince consort of the Zephyran Empire, whether you like it or not." She gestured to her guards. "Please escort Prince Corval to the royal quarters, and someone get that magnificent creature a proper meal. 3,000 years is far too long between dinners." As the guards, now treating him with visible confusion and nascent respect, guided him away, Rian looked back at the Empress. She was smiling, her scales a warm amber. "By the way," she called out. Rian grinned. "Carl." The Empress's laughter followed him all the way down the corridor, mixing with Carl's satisfied rumble. Behind them, the Imperial court erupted into chaos, trying to comprehend how a human foreman with a wrench and industrial soap had just rewritten 3 millennia of tradition. In the maintenance logs, level 74, someone would later note, "Old vault opened. Contents removed. Mess cleaned up. Typical Tuesday. Humanity, indeed."